Hey, good morning, everybody. Just thank you all for coming out here. It's a great day. A little bit about us. For those that don't know me, I'm George Baker, and I'm with KHEC Properties Corp., and we're the owner of the property. We're a nonprofit. We own about 234 properties throughout the Southeast. And our mission really as a nonprofit is basically to preserve affordable housing. And you're going to hear a bunch of speakers today. They're all going to talk very short time, so don't worry about it. You won't have to listen for an hour or anything like that. But one thing about affordable housing, and I think the reason why we do it, it really is a mission for us. Affordable housing has been around since 1937, believe it or not. And there's a need for it. And when you think about affordable housing, we're the owner, we make a lot of decisions, but we work in collaboration with a bunch of people. I mean, this deal, Fair Oaks, we first started thinking about the rehab. It was originally built in 1995. Okay, so it's just like any other property. After 30 years, it needs some money, right? It's hard to do that. It's hard to find the money and keep the rents low. That's our goal, is we try to keep the rents affordable. That's what affordable housing is all about. So we started thinking about this in 1921. I mean, did I say 1921? I'm sorry, 2021. I'm a little bit nervous. No. So 2021, we started thinking about this deal. Okay, it's 2024. It took us 3 years, but it wasn't us. I mean, we had help from so many different groups of people. I just like to list who they are. Department of Community Affairs, which is the state housing agency, they provided financing. RD, we could not be here without USDA Rural Development. They provided underwriting help, construction help, all sorts of help. We have investors. KHEC, which is our parent company, which is also a nonprofit, invested into this deal. They invested equity into this deal. And they in turn go out and talk to banks. And banks basically, the federal government has basically said that if you want to be a large bank and you want to invest in the high-profile commercial real estate towers that are 40 stories high, you're also going to do something for affordable housing. So it's kind of built into the tax code that they have to help out, and they do help out. And there's a lot of good people in the private banking world that have a real passion for affordable housing. KHEC Foundation, which is, again, another nonprofit, they donated money for some of the work you see here at the property. KHEC Capital gave interim financing. The city of Rincon was a great supporter. I mean, we went through this construction really fast, and their inspectors were great. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's the goal of affordable housing is shared by a lot of people. And so when you look at the results of what's here today, just know there's a whole army of people out there in different industries that are fighting to keep rents affordable. I mean, the goal is that no one should pay more than 30% of their income on rent. I mean, that's the goal. And the reason why they have that number is 70% is needed for groceries, medical, cars, transportation. There's a lot of people in this country that pay 50% of their gross income, 60% of their gross income on rent. And what that does is it makes them house poor, and they can't afford to do anything, and it's tough to live that way. So our goal, again, is to go ahead and provide quality housing and at the same time keep a rent that's affordable. The 3-bedroom rents here are $603. So again, I always think of it, a single mom, 2 children, and she's paying $600 a month in rent. That's not too bad. I know I'm from Richmond, Virginia. If I don't sound like a Southerner, that's because I'm from Connecticut originally. You probably noticed that, but I've been in Richmond since 1999, and a 3-bedroom unit there is going to cost you about $1,400. For a lot of people, $1,400 is not affordable. So that's our goal. I just wanted to talk a little bit about affordable housing, and I want to say that no one does anything by themselves, that it's a collaborative effort. And to kind of expand on that is, Mike, you on?
Yes, sir.
Mike is from RD. He's going to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Mike Ubias. I'm with USDA Rural Development. I've been with Rural Development for about 25 years now. And I've got a chance to see a lot of properties get rehabbed and the effects of affordable housing in rural areas. And this is one of the best ones that I've seen in the last few years for sure, in terms of the work that's being done and the community that's being assisted here. I always like to say, the goal of affordable housing is definitely to provide decent, safe, and sanitary housing for our low-income community members. But it's also, we get calls from tenants all the time. And one of the goals that I always thought was good is to take tenants who say that I have to live somewhere, where we can turn that into saying that I love to live there. Instead of having to, they want to live there. And that's a great way of looking at it. So when I go to a property like this, I say, I would want to live here. So I can imagine the tenants that live here are just as happy about it as well. On behalf of our Field Operations Division, Carissa Stiers, she's with Multifamily Housing, the State Director for Georgia, Mr. Reggie Taylor, and our Secretary Vilsack, the Department of Agriculture administrators, and on behalf of the Biden administration, we appreciate all the work that you do here in this community, and we look forward to further collaboration in the future. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. It's going to sound like George and I compared notes because we said a lot of this. I wrote down a lot of the same things, but I think that's a good thing because it really shows that, we sing off of the same sheet of music, even being two different parts of the KHEC organization. I'm Renee Surgis. I am the Vice President of Property Management. It's been about 17 years here, and this is just really special to be a part of today. We're a little mighty group here, and we pulled this together pretty quick, but it's just amazing. And like George said, it really takes a village. We have people from both organizations here today that partner KHEC Properties with KHEC Management, and then the residents. We couldn't do this without the partnerships all the way through. Our vision, like George was talking about, in our vision statement, we talk about providing affordable housing to thriving communities. And it's really important that when we're talking about these projects and when we're putting this stuff together, that we're coming into communities and we're making them better. We're not just the status quo apartment complex in the area, that we're providing value, and that everything that we're doing is to the betterment of the community. And so we hope that the residents here see that and feel that with the intention that's been put towards this project. Like George said, it's been years in the making. We've been talking about this for a long time. And with KHEC Management managing almost 16,000 units throughout the Southeast, I think it's pretty special to think that these units in Rankin, Georgia got this much attention and this much money, and we're able to do this rehab. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. And I'm going to pass it on to Chris Etheridge, who's going to give you some details on the property.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Chris Etheridge, work for KHEC Properties Corp., project manager in charge of construction. Once George and the development team identify a property, it normally comes across my desk and we look at it and see how can we upgrade or what can we do to make your homes what can we do to make it a better experience for you in the community? How can we help? I guess first of all, I would like to say thank you to all the residents that are here, all the residents that were here during construction. We really appreciate it. We know that when we come in, it can be a little disruptive, But I really do hope that in the end it paid off and you're proud of the work that we performed here. Georgia Department of Community Affairs, DCA, I'd like to thank them. They worked with us and helped us get through this process. I'd like to thank our architect of record, Chris Ainsworth, is sitting back there with Wallace Architects. George and Renee said that we've been working on this a while. I started with KHEC Properties Corp. 3 years ago. I've been here 6 months, and they said, hey, we're gonna go to Georgia. And I said, that's great. What are we doing? They said, we're gonna have a rehab. And I said, okay, good. I hadn't even finished one. Before this, I did disaster recovery. So we came in and walked the property, looked at it. It was brand new to me. And thanks to Wallace Architects and our general contractor, Bowden Contractors, we were able to get everything set up. And it is amazing that we hadn't worked in Georgia in a while, but we were able to put in an application and get awarded and come through here and provide new, more efficient green units. What we've done is we've gone in and replaced every HVAC within the property. We replaced every window in the property. We replaced every door. With that, we replaced all the flooring, painted every wall, every ceiling, and putting new energy efficient appliances in. You know, we've given it a little bit of a facelift. I don't know if the residents can say that, but where if you look behind you, you couldn't see the road when we started. We had just a lot of overgrown shrubs that had taken root. We got that cleared out so everyone can feel more safe and see what's going on around them. We did get to put in surveillance cameras and lights so that it's more well lit and people can feel safer at night. We replaced the playground, tried to put a pavilion around it so that families can go out and play and have, you know, events. They can have a birthday party and sit out there and get to grow the community. We built this new community building, which was a new undertaking for me. And I would like to thank the City of Rincon Planning and Zoning Commission, most certainly Director Terry Lewis, who I don't think she's here, I don't see her, but she really did help us get through that process. A little background, what we had to do with that is Department of Community Affairs said that we needed to add a community building. So we said, okay. We went to City of Rincon and asked what that process looked like. We came out here with ASA Engineering, our surveyor, did some testing, and designed a plan with Wallace Architects for this community building. We had to sit with Planning and Zoning. They reviewed plans. Then after that, Ms. Terry sent it over to the board. So we got to go and talk in front of the board. And then they said, okay, and they sent us to City Council. So I got to come back down here and go talk to City Council. And they blessed it and said, go ahead. So from that point, we were able to break ground and get this going. You know, I can just keep talking and talking and talking, but really at the end of the day, this was my first project from start to finish. I greatly appreciate you letting me come in here and do this. I've gained a lot of experience and I really do appreciate it. With that, I couldn't have done it without the assistance of CMI, who Renee runs, and Dana Brenningstraw and her staff, Terry Woods, regional manager, Kathy Porter, senior regional, who is not here, but I do greatly appreciate it. You know, without everybody in the field, I'm just sitting in the office and can't get it done, but they really do help make sure that what I planned to get done got done, or what we, not just I, but our team. So I do greatly appreciate that. We really couldn't do it. And then lastly, as everybody that's a resident here knows, I want to thank Royce Bratton, who, you know, is here all the time, whether you want him to be or not. He's going to be here. He's going to make sure that things do get done correctly. And, you know, if there's any issues, he brings it up to me and we find the right way. And, you know, we want to make sure that you guys are happy. So with that being said, I want to bring up Dana and Jada and let them talk a little bit.
Hello, I'm Dana. I'm the property manager here. I've been here since July of 2023. So I this was my first rehab too. A great learning experience, but ready for the next one. But I just want to introduce Jada. She's one of our residents here, and let her tell you of her experience.
With the new renovations, it's been wonderful. I never thought I'd be using a dishwasher, but I adamantly used it daily. It's been wonderful. A lot of new renovations. I love it. The ceiling fans, everything. We didn't have all of that beforehand. The microwave over the stove is also a good thing. It gives us more counter space. Everything, it's just been wonderful to have it all replaced and renovated. And I appreciate it very much, and I thank y'all. And we could not ask for a better manager than what we have. Dana is wonderful, y'all. She's really good. Thank you.
Is there anyone out in the crowd that we missed that would like to say a few words? Come on up.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Claire Gray. I am one of the newer residents here. I came in right when it was being right before construction. And I just have to say how grateful I am for this opportunity to have affordable housing, because I am a disabled artist and it's tough affording to live independently when you're on a disability check. And so this has been an amazing experience to have an affordable 2-bedroom apartment that I can share with my fiance, and we can actually afford rent every month. And I never thought that would be possible where I lived in my old home of Florida, where everything's much more expensive in terms of housing costs. And so when we moved here, I'm 43, I spent all that time living with my parents. I finally was able to live independently in this beautiful property that has really nice amenities. And I am extremely happy I made it in and am stable financially because of this situation. So it means a lot, and thank you.
Again, thank you all for coming. We're gonna cut the ribbon, and then we're gonna break and have some food. But it's great seeing you all. I hope you get a chance to tour the property. If you haven't seen the inside of the units, we do have a couple units, right? Yeah, we can arrange. Some of the residents have graciously offered that you can see the inside of the impact of construction and what those units look like. So please do that. Have some food, and we're going to go ahead and cut the ribbon. Actually, the resident's going to cut the ribbon. That's what it's all about.